What if I told you there's a country where lakes glow turquoise like liquid gemstones, where northern lights dance across skies so vast they redefine your understanding of infinity, and where wilderness areas are larger than most countries, yet remain virtually untouched by human footprints? Experience the breathtaking beauty of Canada's landscapes in every season. I've discovered 15 destinations across Canada that will make you understand why this country contains more pristine wilderness than the rest of the world combined. From glacial lakes that look like nature's own swimming pools filled with liquid sapphires, to forests where grizzly bears and wolves still rule territories larger than European nations, to cities where multiculturalism creates harmony that the world is still learning to achieve. From the turquoise lakes to the snowy peaks, adventure awaits at every turn. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll take you on a journey across the world's second largest country, where French sophistication meets British tradition in cities surrounded by wilderness that makes you feel microscopic, where indigenous cultures preserve knowledge older than written history, and where winter transforms entire landscapes into crystalline wonderlands that look too perfect to be real. Get ready to see Canada like the voyagers intended, as a land where nature still writes the rules. Witness the magic of the northern lights dancing across the night sky. I've discovered 15 destinations across Canada that will make you understand why this country contains more pristine wilderness than the rest of the world combined. From glacial lakes that look like nature's own swimming pools filled with liquid sapphires, to forests where grizzly bears and wolves still rule territories larger than European nations. Explore untouched wilderness where nature still writes the rules. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll take you on a journey across the world's second largest country where nature still writes the rules. Get ready to see Canada like the voyagers intended. Discover a land where every view is a masterpiece of nature. Number 15. Lake Louise in Banff National Park. Glacial melt creates turquoise water that looks like liquid gems, surrounded by peaks that rise straight from the water. The turquoise color comes from glacial flour, rock ground so fine by glaciers that it remains suspended in the water. During summer, canoeing across this glacial mirror feels like paddling through liquid turquoise. Number 14. Niagara Falls, where 168 cubic meters of water crash over cliffs every minute, creating a thunderous spectacle. The Horseshoe Falls drops 57 meters with such force that it's gradually carving the cliff backward. During severe winters, the falls partially freeze, creating ice formations that look like frozen lightning captured in crystal. Number 13. Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, where the aurora borealis appears over 240 nights per year, creating the most reliable northern lights viewing on Earth. Yellowknife sits directly under the aurora oval, the zone where magnetic particles from the sun interact with Earth's atmosphere to create these dancing lights. The aurora here moves so actively it looks like cosmic spirits performing ballet across the entire sky. Number 12. Quebec City's Old Town, the only walled city north of Mexico, where 400-year-old cobblestone streets and French colonial architecture create a European enclave. During winter, the Quebec Winter Carnival transforms the city into a crystalline wonderland with ice sculptures and snow slides. Number 11. Toronto's CN Tower, once the world's tallest freestanding structure, rising 553 meters above a city so multicultural that over 200 languages are spoken here. Toronto's neighborhoods each feel like different countries, creating a global village where you can eat authentic cuisine from any continent. Number 10. Prince Edward Island, where red sandstone cliffs and beaches create a coastline that looks like it was painted with russet and gold, in the land that inspired Anne of Green Gables and continues to feel like stepping into a literary classic. The island's red soil comes from iron oxide in the sandstone, creating a landscape where every field, every beach, and every cliff glows with warm earth tones that change throughout the day. The island is famous for producing some of the world's best potatoes in this distinctive red soil, and the pastoral landscapes of rolling fields dotted with white farmhouses look exactly like the settings described in Lucy Maud Montgomery's beloved novels. Cycling the island's coastal routes feels like pedaling through pages of a book, where every chapter offers a different shade of red earth meeting blue ocean. Number 9. Jasper National Park's Maligne Lake, where Spirit Island sits like a natural altar in the center of Canada's largest natural lake, surrounded by peaks and glaciers in a wilderness area larger than some countries. Spirit Island can only be reached by boat, and the journey across Maligne Lake takes you through water so clear you can see the bottom 6 meters down. Jasper protects the largest dark sky preserve in the world, which means the night sky here shows stars with an intensity that urban dwellers have never experienced. The park is home to grizzly bears, black bears, elk, and mountain goats that roam territories where they rarely encounter humans, creating a wilderness experience that feels like traveling back to when nature ruled everything. Number 8. Vancouver's Stanley Park, where 10 acres of old-growth forest exist in the heart of a major city, surrounded by a seawall that offers 360-degree views of ocean, mountains, and city skyline from one continuous path. The seawall around Stanley Park is 8.8 kilometers of pathway where you can cycle, walk, or run while seeing the North Shore Mountains, English Bay, and downtown Vancouver skyline all from the same route. Ancient Douglas fir trees, over 800 years old, tower above paths where indigenous peoples gathered food and held ceremonies for thousands of years. Vancouver proves that cities can embrace rather than destroy nature, creating urban environments where wilderness and civilization enhance rather than compete with each other. Number 7. Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, where a lighthouse perches on granite rocks sculpted by 10 years of Atlantic storms, creating the most photographed lighthouse in the world in a setting that defines maritime Canada. The lighthouse stands on granite rocks, polished smooth by countless storms, overlooking an Atlantic Ocean that stretches unbroken to Europe. The tiny fishing village represents maritime culture at its most authentic, where lobster boats still work waters that have supported families for generations. Walking across the granite rocks while Atlantic waves crash below and seabirds wheel overhead feels like standing at the edge of a continent that has watched countless ships arrive carrying dreams, hopes, and new beginnings. Number 6. Whistler Mountain, where the 2010 Winter Olympics showcase slopes so perfect they've become the standard by which all other ski resorts are measured, with vertical drops and snow conditions that create winter sports paradise. The peak-to-peak gondola spans 4.4 kilometers between Whistler and Blackcomb Mountains, offering views across coast mountains that stretch to the Pacific Ocean. The village below blends European alpine architecture with West Coast casualness, creating a resort atmosphere where world-class facilities meet genuine mountain culture. Summer transforms Whistler into a mountain biking paradise, where chairlifts carry bikes instead of skis, proving that these mountains offer year-round adventures for those who love gravity-assisted sports. Number 5. Churchill, Manitoba, the polar bear capital of the world. Each autumn, hundreds of polar bears gather, waiting for Hudson Bay to freeze, creating accessible polar bear viewing. The bears gather near Churchill because this is where Hudson Bay freezes first, giving them access to the seal hunting grounds they need to survive. Tundra buggies carry visitors safely among bears, offering close encounters with Arctic predators in their natural environment. Number 4. Cavendish Beach on Prince Edward Island, where red sand dunes meet the Gulf of St. Lawrence in landscapes that inspired Anne of Green Gables. The beach stretches for kilometers with red sand backed by dunes. This is where Lucy Maud Montgomery walked as a child, gathering inspiration for stories that would make Prince Edward Island famous worldwide. Number 3. Iceberg Alley off the coast of Newfoundland, where icebergs from Greenland drift south, creating a parade of frozen mountains. These icebergs began as snow that fell on Greenland over 15 years ago, compressed into ice and carved by glaciers before breaking free to drift south on ocean currents. Watching these ancient ice sculptures drift past the rugged Newfoundland coast feels like witnessing the Arctic visiting the Atlantic. Number 2. Algonquin Provincial Park in Ontario, where autumn transforms wilderness into nature's greatest art gallery, with maple, birch, and oak trees creating a symphony of color. The park contains over 400 lakes connected by historic canoe routes. During peak autumn color, every lake becomes a mirror reflecting reds, oranges, and golds. And number 1, Bay of Fundy, where the world's highest tides rise and fall up to 16 meters twice daily, moving 100 billion tons of water in and out of the bay. The famous Hopewell rocks become islands during high tide and allow you to walk on the ocean floor during low tide. Experiencing these tides feels like watching the earth breathe. From lakes that glow like liquid turquoise to northern lights that dance like cosmic spirits, from tides that move mountains of water to wilderness areas larger than most countries, Canada isn't just a travel destination. It's a reminder that our planet still contains spaces vast enough to make you feel small, pure enough to refresh your soul, and wild enough to reconnect you with what Earth looked like before humans learned to reshape it. What makes Canada absolutely extraordinary is how it balances preservation with progress, maintaining wilderness areas that dwarf most countries while building cities where 200 languages create harmony instead of chaos. This is a country where you can experience indigenous cultures older than written history, French sophistication, British tradition, and modern multiculturalism, all within landscapes that prove nature still writes the most beautiful stories. Now, I'm absolutely fascinated to know which of these 15 places made you want to experience the magic of Canada immediately. Was it those northern lights dancing like cosmic spirits? Or maybe walking on the ocean floor during the world's most extreme tides? Drop a comment below with the number of your favorite Canadian wonder. If this video has awakened your desire to experience wilderness that makes you feel microscopic and cities that prove diversity create strength, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Every week, we explore destinations that prove our planet still contains spaces vast enough to humble us and beautiful enough to heal us. Speaking of countries with impossible natural beauty, next week we're exploring Brazil to discover 15 places where the Amazon meets beaches that stretch for thousands of kilometers, where carnival culture meets colonial architecture, and where biodiversity reaches levels that make scientists weep with joy. Brazil is going to ignite your passion for life. Until then, keep dreaming of northern lights and pristine wilderness. Keep believing in the power of nature to restore your soul, and I'll see you in the next incredible adventure.